How do everyone? Yes. Can you see we're missing someone? Yes. The young fella is not here today, and I actually don't know why. So we're a little bit. Hopefully, you might jump in halfway through the show or give her a text. But for now, it's down to Jess and Audrey. The whole show relied. Yes. Well, it's actually, if anyone's looking closely, there is someone or something else in on the picture as well. Yes.
Oh,
how cute is that? Jess, you've had the little on, and I forgot the name. Oh,
Hallie.
Hallie. I was going to say a comet.
Haley's comet. Yeah.
So, will she stay there like constant?
Yeah, she's quite happy. She just sits there.
That lush there. So, and that was an
so
early. Am I right in thinking an early birthday present?
Yes. Yeah. She complete and utter surprise. Like I was just lurking around at home, and my boyfriend was like, "Right, get your shoes on. We're going out. You got to go and pick something up for your birthday." I was like, "What?" Yeah. So
another tomato plant, another bush, another bloody herbaceous bush or something like that.
Yeah, it's a bit more time consuming than a bush, unfortunately.
She's
with us on the thing. Yeah, but she's really sweet. She's really sweet.
Lovely. Well, yeah. So there is 4. You know what I mean?
There is 4 of us, but I'm not sure on her ability to add much.
Well, that was Jess. Thank you again for kind of showing up. Audrey, are you well? Are you good?
I'm great. It's like 55 here today.
Mm-hmm.
So that's almost year 10, I think.
55.
And that's good for you, is it, Audrey? Because down south.
In March, yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, March has been really crazy. So up, down, up, down, up, down.
Mm.
So
it has, honestly, Audrey. I mean, we've talked about this just before there. I'm terrible, and I'll ask you this as well. I'm terrible at right, I'll do that tomorrow instead of doing it there and then when the weather's lovely. I'm always like, right, and I've always got to have like a little plan. Right, I'm gardening. Right, I'll do that tomorrow, and I'll do that, and it comes to tomorrow, which I could have done it all when I was planning it because it was being lovely days. Yep. It's pouring down here. It's been pouring down since 6:05 this morning. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, why didn't I just do all these things? Do you know what I mean? And like a week sharp goes by when you're thinking, I want to get me potatoes in early. That was me. I was going to get some early potatoes in. And I thought, right, Monday is a lovely day. It's gorgeous today. And I'm certainly not going up in the pouring rain to do it. So,
yeah, that would not be a fun job in the pouring rain.
Oh, I know. Well, how many times Jess, I bet you go up and it starts raining and you just spend your time in the polytunnel. Do you know what I mean? And it's just
well, it would be nice if I had a cover on the polytunnel to hide under at the moment. It's not much use for hiding. But you just had to get that in there.
Get that in, yeah. Like, certainly get that in. Right.
Yeah. No, I haven't got the cover back on, but yeah. I was just hiding in the greenhouse with the cat, not this cat, the Lily, like earlier this week. It was really grim. We had about 2 days of it. Mm-hmm. And actually, have you seen the forecast? It looks like 5 days of rain, solid.
Oh.
No.
You know what it is?
Terrible. Like the weather map where they showed it is just basically like the whole of the UK just disappears for 5 days under a rain cloud.
I didn't look at it because the day it was sunny. I thought, right, plan for today as well. I was going to do some bike reviews, so I've unboxed 3 bikes. I've built them. They're in the kitchen. They're big things. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like,
this is 3 new bikes.
Well, they've been there since. Well, there's 2 bikes and 1 electric scooter.
Okay.
And but the electric scooter's the size of a car. I'm not lying. You know what I mean? It's got indicators on it. It's got indicators and headlights. Do you know what I mean? My son went through. I know we're kind of going off PCR, but my son went through like the scooter kind of phase. You know, when he was a little one. And he kind of built this one up with all the kind of the cool stuff, you know, how the kind of the hipster kind of skating, you know, like these things that have come now are just like just a different beast from what he was, you know, like pushy, you know, these things are going like 45 mile an hour for 100 miles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Off road. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I think I made the right decision getting rid of mine.
Oh, that's right. You said, because it was like a...
Well, I mean, it was great. Apart from the problem is that, like, firstly, I don't have the best road sense. I don't drive anyway. And I don't have great road sense, so I'd stay off the roads a bit. But, like, the main kind of thoroughfare, we've just got a response from JB.
All right.
Which is, oh my God. So I think he may have forgotten. It's just big letters on my screen have just come up. Oh my God. All in capitals. Yes. JB forgot. Yeah.
Oh, that's fab.
Yeah, so the scooter, it ended up like when I first got it, that nobody else had one. It was like a whim purchase, and I'd never seen anybody else riding one before. It was just completely like a new thing. I mean, this must have been 2018, and by the time I gave it away, trying to go down like the Thames path, like the cycle path, it was like being in a swarm of flies, because everybody had one, and you're all going roughly the same speed, like, all of you, like in these huge masses. It was awful. Yeah, so got rid.
Well, like I say, it's now sitting on the kitchen floor there, and it's the size of a small car, bloody thing. So, and then there's two.
Heavy too.
Oh, I kind of. Well, the idea was, I says, Melanie, I'll bring this upstairs, and I kind of lift it. I've got to be careful with lifting, anyways. But gee, boy. Anyway,
you used to be able to take them on the train. That was quite useful. Like, I used to work in Battersea, and I could get it on the train because they fold up pretty well. I mean, they weigh a ton, but they are like narrow. Get it on the train, but then they've banned them going on trains now. Oh, don't fall off. They've banned them on going on trains now, which then makes it impossible. Because if it starts pissing down when you're on your way back from work or on your way to work, like, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't just leave it in the street and walk off. So,
well, I couldn't even get this onto the train, Jess. It's, you know what I mean? It's so heavy. Do you know what I mean?
Is it one with the really fat tyres?
It's got like big fat tyres. It's got two headlights. And it's like I see on the side, it's got indicators, like RGB indicated. Anyway, gardening. Jessie.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a confession here, and I'm just, you know what I mean? I just want to kind of get it off my chest early on. I'm a little bit disappointed with my silver grow. I don't know what it is, but it's even now, I'm thinking it possibly could be maybe the silver grow, because everything seems to be stunted. And I'm even looking now at the one, it germinates. Everything germinated. And it might not be that, Jess. It might be something else. But even now, like me beetroot and me tomatoes, they all seem to be like stopped. And I've got like apps, for like temperatures, and it's cooking in the thing, and we're getting nice long days now. I changed out, Jess, all my chilies, and I've put in peat, the clover compost, because I had someone mentioned on one of my comments, I think from maybe the last video I did, your plants look a little bit pale, Tony. And I never thought, and I went, oh, and there was 3 left that I didn't kind of transplant when they first germinated, because I used some Levingtons, and they were like a deep green. Obviously, there's a feed in there, and JB and yourself have said there's not that much feed in there. So I don't know the conclusion yet, but I've changed out all my little pots, all my chilies that have had the silver grow in. I've still got the silver grow in the beetroots and things like that, but I don't know. Here he comes. Here he comes.
Hey. Nice of him to turn up, eh? I'm so sorry, everyone.
Wait a minute. Can we just tell while people are 25 minutes late? Now, this is a job, JB. I'm going to have to dock your wage for this one, to be honest. You know what I mean? So you just forgot.
I've been balanced precariously up the back of the house trying to waterproof and paint. And I've been saying to Jess all day, it feels like Sunday. It feels like Sunday today because we got the day off work. And it just completely... I haven't got a calendar reminder or anything or a alarm set, because it's just every Monday, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like in my head. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Oh, God, hey, don't worry. Well, JB, just for you coming in, I'm just saying to Jess there, I'm having a little bit of a bumpy road, maybe, or a little bit with the silver grow. You know how a gardener blames everything. You know what I mean? It's not himself. He blames anything he can. Do you know what I mean? And I seem to be struggling with that silver grow because I was saying to Jess, even me onion seeds, they're just still tiny. And me beetroot, everything germinates all right. But even like the beetroot that's been there for nearly a month now is tiny still.
Really?
You know what I mean? And maybe I got a bad batch from somewhere, but I remember where I got them from. The pallet was, it was still like, say, 3/4 full. So, but I've changed out, JB, and I remember you saying this, though, that it kind of makes your roots first. And I had nice roots on them, but I've changed out all my silver grow on the chilies and put in clover compost. I went to my local one that does the kind of clover compost. And I'm going to wait and see, because I got a couple of comments, I think, from folks saying, excuse me, oh, your chilies look rather pale. Now, I've never thought that. And then I went and looked and I went, oh, what the bloody do? You know what I mean? Like, apart from 3 that were still in the seed germination compost, which I was saying, Jess, was like a Levington's one.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, I wonder, because I was saying, my temperature's cooking in the kitchen, in the greenhouse. It's literally like, it could grow anything. I could grow banana plants in there. There's enough light now, surely, for that not to be an issue. You know what I mean? I woke up this morning at 5 o'clock. It's light, and it's light till about, 6 at least. So there's, but it just seemed like they don't get any further forward than the germination size. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
that's interesting. Yeah, I have. To be honest, I have had. You're not the only person that's ever said anything negative about silver grow. One of my patrons, Tufty, has had a tough year with their chilies this year that are in silver grow. I've only just noticed the kitten on Jesse's shoulder. Amazing. So yeah, maybe there is just every now and then a slightly bad batch, or maybe there's I'm not really sure what it is, to be honest, because my onions have been in the same little modules for ages, and now that the light has taken off, they're in silver grow as well. Now that the light has started to really ramp up, they've shot up. They're like they look like leeks almost. They're getting proper towards pencil thickness. So for me, it's certainly the most
even.
Wow.
Honestly, if pencil thickness, mine look like they've just germinated 3 weeks ago, like the thin kind of, the thin. And I've even got, because I watched Allotment Diary, Dan, he's a great believer in heat-treated onion sets, says he never has a bolting problem. So I thought, right, I'm going to order some of them as well. Just because I used to do sets, but I always use the red ones, especially with bolt. So he doesn't have a problem with the red ones, these heat treated ones. So I'm going to stick some of them in. But me onions are just like wispy little things. You know what I mean?
It's interesting, yeah. I wonder if it is worth giving them a little top up with a seaweed feed. You've got good root growth. Maybe there's just not many nutrients in that bit of silver grow, and giving them a little liquid feed if they've got a good root system.
But then I look at yours, Chippy. I just want to give up. Do you know what I mean? Yours, like, I seen that you sent with a picture of the thumbnail from your last video.
Oh, the chilies.
And I honestly thought that was photoshopped. I thought there's no way that's like they're that big now, because they were lovely, but they're like that.
Oh yeah, they're pretty they're pretty chunky. But that's the same. It's just pure silver grow, and then the potty mix, 10 parts silver grow, 2 parts perlite this year, and then a bit of bloodfish and bone, maybe like half a part bloodfish and bone, a little bit of Epsom salts, and some mycorrhizal fungi as well. I do wonder if it's the mycorrhizal that's made the difference this year.
Could that be the difference?
Oh,
it could well be.
I told you so.
It's the only thing I was going to say it's the only thing I've done differently. It's the first time I've ever started them in silver grow as well, actually, right from seedlings. So I think that does explain some of it.
Well, that's the the hard thing for us to find out, Jimmy, because yours are so good. And before all the mycorrhizal and all that, they were taken off. You know what I mean? Maybe it was to do with light early on.
Yeah, it could
You know,
be.
you've got like that top light, so like a special light. You know what I mean? Maybe it was light early on with mine, but or maybe see, I was because I know Jess said she one or a couple of hers got caught in a draft.
Yeah.
And I've stood in the thing. There's no draft in me. You know what I mean? There's no draft
Yeah,
there.
no, the two that were in a draft just died instantly.
Right.
Like that you could see the line that the air had taken across the seed tray, and it just killed everything in its wake.
Mm-hmm.
You had that last year, though, right? With your drafts.
Yeah. Well, this house is not short
Yeah.
of a draft. So, I mean, every window is so padded out with that, that stuff that you can get to stick in them to try and like stop the drafts coming through. I mean, it's just pointless. You need a meter of it just to pad out, It's so we are very drafty. But I'm looking at my chilies, and my aubergines are doing really, really well, and my chilies and peppers are doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. They're the same size. I'm not even going to go and get one because it's the same size as it was last time. It's like this. But when you're talking about your onions, JB, they're not the one. They're the ones you sowed on Boxing Day. Are pencil thickness.
Well, maybe I'm exaggerating slightly. maybe I'm exaggerating slightly, but they have really just like they've just kind of I don't know, stood up to attention, quite suddenly in the last kind of week.
And have you fed them at all?
No. I might have given them a little foliar seaweed spritz actually, but nothing heavy duty, nothing
because
liquid on there.
mine look like Tony's sound. Like they look like they germinated 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
There's nothing happened. They came up, they got to about that long, and they have not moved since. They just look exactly the same as they did like before we sowed them on Boxing Day, like halfway through January. They haven't changed.
I mean, Jess, sorry, Audrey, I know what it is. We've got to get this off with chest,
Okay.
But when you think, I mean, I wasn't Boxing Day, I maybe might have been, but I was like the first week in January. We're now coming to the end of March.
That's true, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like 3 months nearly of like, I'd want them bigger than pencil. When you then, JB, said pencil thickness, it was like, Christ, it's everything of mine's not kind of,
I haven't potted mine on.
I just sowed some more spring onions yesterday, and sowed them straight into the greenhouse. And as I was doing it, I was talking, like chatting to the camera, and I was like, yeah, these should be ready in 3 months easily to eat, And then I'm looking at this little sad sort of set that are just hanging over the edge of the other pots. Like, yeah, well, you've already been in for 3 months, mate. You've done bugger all. Like, I know it was winter 3 months, but still, they were inside, like here for the whole time. They've done nothing. So I don't know what's going on.
Well, I did just sow my spring onions early on, like a batch, and honestly, it's like they're in like a nice little thick clump. You know what I mean? So but it's like, say, Jess, it's like hair thickness. You know what I mean? It's like they're as thick as a hair, and that's it, nothing else. And they've been in nearly 3 months as well.
Yeah.
Wow. How are all of Audrey's seedlings doing?
Yeah. How's your army going?
The army is going very well. My onions are not pencil thick, but they're not like, okay, I had to replant my Zabroon shallots because they did absolutely nothing. And they're coming up. So they're those little skinny, but everything else is looking pretty nice. All my brassicas are up, and those are going to get repotted this week.
Wow.
Tomatoes are up already, and those went in last week.
That's
So
what Audrey was just saying, like 1 week germination. Bang.
oh, and they're up. They're not even like pretending. They are up.
Mhm.
Now I did sacrifice my 2 cucumber plants today. I sent them to where garden things go to heaven.
Where cucumbers go to die.
Yeah. Because they were doing they get crispy sometimes, the leaves.
Yeah.
But then I'd have this great flush of growth and all these flowers. Not one darn cucumber. And honestly, I need the room.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to take the hit for the team.
Say
Oh,
goodbye.
I know. It was a much more valiant effort this year. So maybe
well,
next
maybe
year.
you'll be third time lucky. You'll be inundated next year.
Well, one of the plants I gave away, she's already gotten a cucumber off it. I'm like, what did I
just the
do
way
wrong?
That's always the way. It's
Yeah.
always the way.
And
If you want a plant to do well, give it to someone else.
yeah.
Yes. So
I'll leave it
she-
alone. That's my thing. Leave it alone. You know what I mean? Just sow them and leave them. Do you know what I mean? Don't prick them out, Tony. Don't kind of plant them on. Just leave them. You know what I mean?
I saw that in your little quarter tray,
Mhm.
your chili peppers that were looking really
Well, they're
good.
the ones, JB, that are still in that kind of in the Levington seed and cutting compost, and they're the ones that have. They're me golden hopes now. You know what I mean? They're the ones that are kind of. So remember when I said I wasn't going to do many tomatoes? That's I was only going to do a.
You're
Well,
so
now
cute.
that plan's all changed. There, Ian kind enough sent us down. I don't know where Ian got them from because they're not on his site.
Yeah.
Grown local. Some staff, what they're called, rebel
the
staff.
Starfighter.
I got some of them. I got. I ordered the pork chop because I remember because didn't I forget the name straight away, and then UJB went. How can you forget pork chop? Well, that made it stick in my mind. So
Very good.
I did remember it after I was told, how can you forget that? So they came. So I've now got, I'm probably thinking I'm going to go to Jess's garden centre because they had lovely chilies in there. I'm going to drive down. I'm going to buy a whole load of chilies. No, I'm thinking probably all them quad grows, 3/4 are going to be tomatoes now.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? It's just that unless I go and buy chilies, these things aren't. Because remember the hot ones, Jess, you lost the Burt Jaloka ones.
Mm.
They're still thumbnail-y kind of size.
Yeah, I'm just looking at mine now. Where is it? I can measure it on my little finger.
Watch, we'll just hear a wow. Stood on the cat. Yeah.
That's the height.
So,
But
what's
they're
going?
not going out soon, are they?
Well, no, they look like they're
Wait,
going more
so
towards the
but I'm
compost.
saying,
heap
don't you
than
still
the-
have a couple months before they go outside?
Yeah.
I've still got a month. And I would say they're still worth, if you've had chilies or anyone who's watching has had chilies that have been going really slow. It does often really change when you get them outside, especially if they're in a greenhouse. Once they get the full sun on them and, the days are longer and they start to get the heat of a greenhouse or a
Yeah.
polytunnel, they do quite often recover. So I wouldn't bin yours away, Tony.
Oh, I'm not sorry. I don't mean the word bin. I mean like as in actually throw away. But they're now,
You're gonna
like you say, them
supplement.
Bergelogas, they're not going to surely go into a bush. After say nearly 3 months of growth, and they're still,
Yeah.
like say Jesse's size fingernail. You know what I mean? And it sounds like Jess is having the couple of same issues.
I'm just looking because I can see them here. They're behind the computer. And I've got some of them, that were the ones that germinate, like a couple of, the stripies that you sent me, JB. They germinated brilliantly. So they germinated like 2 days after I sowed them, sorry. And they've still only got their seed leaves. Nothing else has happened.
Ooh.
There's nothing. They're just, in fact, let me get one.
Yeah, that's not good. That is not good. I'm intrigued to see them.
Look at that. That's it.
Okay, yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, that's not good.
See that, like I say,
And there's not even anything happening in there. Like it's just got to that point and it's completely stopped.
Yeah. I don't even know
I'm
what to suggest.
I'm going to take a load of them aside and I'm going to give them a really good feed and just see if I can get them to do anything, because at the moment it looks like Tony and I are going hand in hand to the blooming
garden centre.
Garden centre begging.
Jess, would you ever consider using like a company like Clover Compost, which is peat based, or would that really go against everything?
I don't think this is to do with the compost, purely because a lot of the other stuff that I've sown into it, my chilies are pants, my onions are pants, everything else is really happy and really strong. Both my onions and my chilies are the two that have been brought up in the house. Everything else has been started in the greenhouse. And they're all looking fantastic. Like, everything else is really, really strong. So I don't think it's the compost. I think it's either my TLC skills are massively lacking this year for some reason, or because I can't understand it. Everything's fine in the greenhouse.
But that's a great. You've showed them a great example there. Just why isn't it like? Why is there just the 2 leaves? Surely you would be able to see more coming after this. You know what I mean? Developing more. It just sounds like it's not even developing.
No, it's just frozen at that point. And the thing is that it got to that point really quick. Like, it wasn't a slow germination. Like, that was like a week after it germinated, it was looking fab, and it has done nada since. And I'm just going to give them a feed and see if it makes it, or give half of them a feed and see if it makes a difference, and just see.
Did you start them in that pot, Jessie?
No, they were started.
Oh, you put them on?
Yeah, because they weren't doing anything.
Yeah, weird.
Nothing was happening. I mean, this was like however many months after I'd sowed it. They were still at this point. So I thought, well, maybe I just need to get it out of that cell tray and get it into a pot, and it's still done nothing.
Just to make it even more, because out of all of the things, and I've still used the Silver Grow on my celeriac. My celeriac seems to be okay, or a lot healthier than, and I mean, you can see it growing. It's a slow kind of plant anyways. It took a while to germinate, anyways. But
are they still spindly though, Tony?
Well, they're just, they're kind of probably about that big, but they've got like leaves, and they look green and lush, you know. So I'm not worried about them. But the beetroot, the spring onions, and the chilies. And I was getting myself a little bit paranoid, because we're now into the tomatoes, and I was thinking, didn't I grow the tomatoes? I put some early ones away because I was going outside, the Crimson Crush, and I was thinking, these look static as well. So I thought, I don't want, another, because the tomatoes are the kind of, like the bread and butter sort of thing of the polytunnel. So I changed them over straight away with this Clover Compost, and I'm just, like I say, I've done the chilies there now the other day, and I'm just waiting to see what, because they had roots, JB, they had nice, but even like the ones honestly like the size of them, they've got roots, but they just not seem to be, I
wonder what it is. Bit of a mystery. I don't know. For Jessie, you can kind of think of it, the fact that the stuff that is growing inside is the stuff that is bad. Is you can put a scientific hat on and think either it's the water, your lights, or maybe the temperature. That are probably the 3 main
I think I've
variables.
Sorted the temperature thing out. Like, I've got a big piece of clear perspex over the window now, and it doesn't. I mean, to be honest, it does say that it gets down to 9 in here at night, which is probably a bit too cold for them. I'm just looking at it. I didn't realise it got that low.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem.
That could well be it. For the chilies, I'm not sure about the onions. They should be able to take that. But the chilies, I mean, you saw
here. The onions were down in the conservatory, so.
Okay.
But I have actually just moved them up to the greenhouse, so we'll see if they have a sudden improvement up there.
Yeah, but you saw it. Maybe you didn't see in the thumbnail for the chili guide. I had one that was sown at the same time that has been in my conservatory, where it's been too cold, and it's got its first true leaves, and that's it. And then it's just sat there for 3 months. So I think temperature is probably the likely culprit with the chilies.
Yeah. JB, has your chilies, your good chilies there with your nice light, have they ever did you keep them long in like they didn't have like a propagator lid on them, did they? And you keep them
just at the start.
So, but you
For the
took that off
germination.
kind of germination after germination, and
Once 50% had germinated, that's when I took the propagator lid
right.
off. And then
But
went
you
with
have
the
them
shot
on a
glasses.
heat mat, don't you?
I have a heated propagator, so it's similar.
Okay.
But that similar.
I think that
once,
underheat really helps.
Yeah, once I had most of them germinated, though,
Yeah.
I turned it off.
See, though, Audrey, I've got. They're in a big tray there now, which I've got another spare one there, which is part of. That's on heat. That's heated. You know, one of them big heats. Then there's a heat mat as well. So there's two lots of heat. Then there's a greenhouse heater. You know what I mean? As
Maybe
well
it's
on
too
now
hot.
on for 2
Maybe
weeks has
they're in
been
a
on.
sauna and they're like, "Gosh, could I have a breeze?" I don't
Some
know.
people do say that the heat mat from underneath can make the soil too warm after they've germinated, but in the north of England in a greenhouse, is that going to be happening? I don't know.
Well, I think for next year, I might just for a month have an artificial light on in here in one of the big trays with it. I was thinking like maybe like, you know, those clothes racks where you can hang just like a £10 thing off Amazon and just hang
give it
me
a go.
a fancy light there and just try.
You've got all the lights, haven't you? You've got them
I
all there.
to get that board, what's over there, I had to take. You know what I mean? There's 6 lights and there's 3 that are kind of, you know, huge things, like nearly £400 each. But I didn't want to go down that route. You know what I mean? I've got the bloody green, which worked last year. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing I had. You know what I mean? I had.
Yeah.
Great.
Do you ever go back and watch your videos and see if you did anything different?
See what you did different.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't. It gets on me nerves.
Well, then you can start writing things down then. You know, started
Not
on
gonna
this
happen.
date.
Oh,
And
can it? Audrey,
you are so funny.
it just makes us. It's like JB with broccoli. Do you know what I mean?
I'm similar. When gardening starts to feel like homework, it's a bit of a turn off. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that homework?
What, rewatching myself? Oh, I couldn't do that, Audrey. Bloody hell.
Well, just listen then. Maybe, you know, you can listen to it like it's a podcast.
I've got the experts right in front of us now. What? Do you know what I mean? I've got the best teachers in the world. Do you know what I mean? What do I need to go and watch a silly old fool tripping over in that for?
Well, see if you did something really different. That's all that you forgot to do this year.
Is there anything, Audrey, because you're sitting there rather pleased with yourself, is there anything that you're struggling with?
They're rather pleased with myself. Is there what? I'm sorry.
Is there anything you're struggling with? You want to kind of, to the Church of Gardening Failures, want to like confess to?
I threw out my 2 cucumbers.
Yes.
If I could grow a snapdragon, I would fall down and I don't know. I try them every year and still, I've got maybe a dozen coming up and I planted 72. So yeah, I have plenty of failures. It's gardening. I mean,
Yeah.
but these snapdragons, I want to whip that. Now it's a challenge. Now it's like, how can I not grow these?
Well, that's almost like the challenge. Or you remember when yourself and Steve, it's like the Chinese cabbage. Still to this day, I've never grown it, like getting right the way through a Chinese cabbage, growing one of them, you know. So
well, he was also trying to grow it into Christmas. He wanted one for Christmas. He wasn't just trying to grow a cabbage.
But I'm sure they say on the packet,
they're a colder one, aren't they?
They're you know, it's
they can take a little frost, yeah. But he could grow them in the spring, no problem. But he wanted one for Christmas. So
it's always the slugs with those for me. Even if it looks like it's doing really well on the outside, you touch it and like the inside of it's just like a slug towel block.
No.
Oh, yeah.
When we're talking slugs there, Jess, that DT Brown cancelled and I've had it in the order for bloody ages. The nematodes. It was like a nematode, you know, you order it and you've got to wait for delivery kind of thing. And then just the other day, I got an email saying refund. Sorry, we're not able to supply this. And I was like, oh, for God's sake. You know what I mean? So I was going to give the idea was that if I get the product, then I've got to use it. I was going to give it like a nice douse in a month's time or something. But has anybody sown potatoes? Have we got any jumpers in on potatoes? Or
I was meant to do mine yesterday, but I ran out of time.
I planted 8 like a month and a half ago.
Oh yeah, your monster potatoes.
They're about 2 feet tall right now. So I think I have to put them in a larger pot, which also then goes, where the heck am I going to put these?
Where are they now?
They're in my living room under some clamp-on lights. Because I'm out of, my thing is so full, I can't.
In the living room.
Yes.
8 pots of potatoes in the living room. That's a dedicated gardener for you.
I have my ginger in there, and my sweet potato slips are growing, and so and leeks are in there. There's all kinds of stuff in the living room.
Oh, there's
my
loads.
husband is a very understanding man.
I need to be sowing my leeks there now. I wanted to do the potatoes and the leeks and that, but haven't got round to that.
Yeah, I sowed some leeks yesterday. I ordered some sweet potato slips as well, which I'm very excited about, but they don't ship until mid-April, which I guess is because they're very
they
frost
want
sensitive,
heat,
right?
They want heat.
Well, JB, you probably way better than up here because I tried them. And in the end, it was actually my mum that kind of thought they were weeds. And when we're going on holiday, I cleared them and chopped them up. And, I've tidied the polytunnel for you, Tony. And they were gone. And I didn't have the heart to say, totally bloody. You know what I mean? But I think up here is a little bit too cold. You might be able to, I think we've talked about this on the show where there's a chap in Australia is pulling out.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, he does.
Just massive things. They're just almost like weeds. You know what I mean? And
yeah. Oh, I'd be interested actually to read the chat later on opinions because I was talking to Jesse about this. We were thinking about maybe doing sweet potatoes under the tomatoes, as like a ground cover in the polytunnel. And I saw a few people in America and like the tropics had really good success with it. But I'm not sure if you can really get away with it in a polytunnel in the UK. So if you've tried it in the chat, let us know. Because, I think they might end up competing a little bit too much. But I don't know. If the tomatoes are really well established and you feed them quite heavily, maybe it'll be okay. I'm not sure.
So you still want to grow them for sweet potatoes, though, as well, right?
Yeah.
I wonder. I don't know.
I've had
hot enough in there.
I'm trying to remember what year it was. It must have been. It was 2020 that we had the really nice spring and summer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The heat wave one.
It was really not the 40 degrees, but the really nice like extended summer that it wasn't a washout. I think it was 2020. I had fantastic sweet potatoes that were just grown in like 2 big buckets in the greenhouse. Brilliant. Nice. Absolutely fab. Like proper fat sweet potatoes.
Right.
When I tried them again the year that we had the pants summer, so not last year, the year before, I just got like little tiny like wiggly worms out of it. It was nothing really. But the big difference was heat. Like we had that really great summer and they were great.
Where did you get the slips from them, Jess?
That's the other difference is the first lot that I grew, I actually bought the slips like in a little pot. And then the next time I tried to make my own slips. So the varieties would have been different because the first lot were, I can't remember, there's one particular variety name which grows really well in the UK.
Oh, I didn't buy that.
Yes. Well, maybe that's the one they were selling though. If they're selling slips, there's one variety that's particularly good. Obviously, when I've made my own slips, I've just bought a sweet potato from the supermarket, which like probably wasn't grown in London.
Yeah.
So it would have been a mixture of crap summer and not the right variety. I'm trying to remember what that variety's called. It was really good.
I'm wondering as well if can you get like an F1 kind of? Is there anything on? Because sweet potatoes are just out of my remit there. Like I tried once, but nothing come. I don't know.
Well, it came because your
Garden
mom pulled them
approved.
out.
Yeah,
So maybe
Yeah,
it's worth
we
trying
never
again.
know what might have happened.
I could have had. Yes, I could. I could have.
It's called
one-
Beauregard.
Oh,
Okay.
Beauregard, that's a big one over here too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a real hardy one.
Yep. Nice
Ooh,
big
the one-
orange root. Yep.
The one I've ordered is called Erato Orange, but it does say very similar to the well-known Beauregard. So we'll see. I got them from DT Brown. Fingers crossed.
And what are you just put them in like 30-litre pots, JB? Are you?
Well, that's what I mean. I want to try some in the ground in the polytunnel in the same bed as the
Oh, right.
tomatoes.
Sorry, right.
Yeah.
And see whether or not they compete too much. I thought it might be quite nice to have ground cover in amongst the tomatoes to kind of reduce, the baking sun on the ground, reduce evaporation and that kind of thing. But I will do some in a greenhouse in a 30-litre tub as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Were they expensive, JB, to buy, or are they?
Yeah, they about £12 for 5 slips.
Right.
So yeah, quite pricey. It was free
That's quite
delivery
expensive.
on DT Brown, but
Mhm.
I thought, you know what, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go for once. I've
But
wanted to do them for years, and every year I go, yeah, I'm going to do them this year, and then I look at the price and go, never mind, I'm not going to do them.
They're
see
really
that.
You know
easy
what?
to start, though. They're
That's-
really easy to start your own slips.
Yeah, they I saw, like I say, I've seen people have had mixed experience trying to get their own slips going, and you have to start really early with good heat, don't you?
Well, heat helps.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
that's
think
the life of the sweet potato. It's heat.
yeah, I
Yeah.
tried to make my own slips last year, and the sweet potatoes just went moldy. So
So how would you get over that then, Audrey? Because I would have thought, because we've had like moldy sweet potatoes, which how do you get
Sure.
the slips?
Well, you don't. You keep them warm, but not necessarily really humid. I think humidity helps with the mold growth. And you soak your potato like the day before you're going to plant it, and then you just plant it and keep it moist until you start seeing the slips come up. I'm growing a Murasaki purple, which is purple on
yeah.
the outside and white in the center. Delicious. I mean, they don't taste like sweet potatoes.
Are
They're
they less
nuttier.
sweet?
They're like a nutty sweet.
Uh,
They're
Mm.
very nice. Very nice.
Anybody been sowing more tomatoes? Anybody, JB? Tomatoes?
Yeah, so I've got two full trays on the go, and Ian has just sent me a few from his personal collection as well.
Yeah.
One of which was I think Alice's Dream, which you were
Yes.
talking about, Jesse. So I'm very excited.
So is that the one that you really liked, Jesse? Was the Alice's Dream?
yeah.
Okay, I have some of those. All right, so I'm planting 3 more varieties now.
I haven't started mine yet, but this week I've got everything all set to go for this week is the planting.
Nice.
I don't
have
want to
you-
talk about new varieties anymore
Yes.
because I keep adding.
Oh no.
And Alice's Dream is one, and the Starship or Starfighter. I
Rebel
found that,
Starfighter.
And-
Rebel Starfighter Prime.
and the sour one for curry. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't think of that one. What was that one called?
Surrender.
Surrenders.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Mm. Yeah, so basically I've done my two main trays, and then Ian sent me some seed. Jesse, I think you've sent me some seed. Audrey,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for some seed. So I'm gonna just have to do a third tray, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Okay, that cat is so hard to look at and not talk to.
I know. Yeah, I know.
She's so adorable.
So sleepy.
Oh,
I saw you'd set up an Instagram for her, Jesse.
Yeah, it's because I'm obsessed, so it's really difficult not to just flood the gardening Instagram with pictures of a cat. So
oh,
give me
but
an
she's so
outlet
sweet.
somewhere
I mean,
else.
that
Very
will last
sweet.
for a minute. It's like a baby. It
Yeah.
lasts for a minute, and then they're
Yeah.
big old people.
Just before we kind of before we shoot off, is there anything you've been doing in your allotment? Have you been up to the allotment? I'll ask everyone, so I'm just wondering, have you?
This week I was meant to be putting my potatoes in this week, or at least the ones that I'm putting in the bed I was going to put in. But I discovered they've all got mealybug.
Oh, that's right.
The vlog that comes out this evening has got quite a lot of me talking about mealybugs in it. But I think I've solved the problem now, so I've just kind of got that sorted, and then I'll get them planted next week as well, hopefully. Not the ones in pots, because I haven't worked out how I'm going to afford to buy that much compost yet. What with having to fill, because I've emptied the polytunnel, obviously, ready to take it up, and I tipped all the soil out into the beds, and I've presently used all the soil for other things. So like chopping up carrot beds and mulching sort of the raspberries and stuff. So I don't have any left. So I'm going to have to buy a whole double width, double height thing of compost to fill that up, as well as the potatoes and the peppers and no peppers and the tomatoes and all that kind of stuff.
You'll not need any compost for the peppers, like me, Jess. Don't worry about, you know what I mean? What did you do with the? Are you putting the potatoes that had the mealybug? Are you still planting them, or are they ruined?
I'm still going to use them. The mealybugs shouldn't survive outside. They like it to be pretty warm and humid. It's normally one of the things you get on house plants. But I've had them sat in the conservatory down here, and we've got quite a few like old house plants down there. And funnily enough, like I hadn't noticed that they had mealybug. But they've gone onto the potatoes and like just gone. So, yeah, that was a bit of an annoying discovery. But it shouldn't be a major.
Don't the chickens like mealybugs?
I'm sure they do, but the problem is that you know what potatoes are like once they're chitted. They're really quite delicate. Like if you knock those chits, they come off. And of all the things that my chickens are, delicate is not one of them. So they're just, they just obliterate the potato.
Got it. Enough said. Got it.
Yeah. If I could shake them off into a dish for them, I'm sure they'd be thrilled.
Yes.
But...
Plus, there'll be like little peck marks all over your potato.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like bullet holes, chicken bullet holes everywhere.
Yeah.
Audrey, have you been? What else you been? Have you been up to anything? Or
there's really nothing to be up to outside yet. We just had 5 inches of snow a couple days ago. That has melted. But we're not close to having our last snow yet. So I'm trying to keep up with everything very orderly, getting it sowed and in the right time. And I think first week in April, I want to get some lettuce in the garden and put some fleece over it and see how quickly that'll germinate.
I was going to say it's straight from seed into the soil.
Yes,
right.
But I do have probably 30 lettuce plants that are really ready to get out of the house. But I think they're too big to put out in this cold. So I'm just playing a little waiting game with them.
Actually, they'll probably get too big, and then you can just eat them straight away.
That's what I said today. Like we could harvest off these next week. Like they are really big. So, so I'm just trying to keep on track with all the needs.
See, I thought I was doing great. Like early sowings, early this. Remember what I did the celeriac, and then this little this knockback just kind of zaps you of like all fun. Do you know what I mean? So,
I'm a little worried about my celeriac. Not worried. They're so spindly right now, like delicate little. I want them. I want to see those beef up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they look good so far, and they're green and they're growing, but a little spindly.
JB, have you been anything?
Oh yes, I've been busy. They're such tiny little seeds.
Been so busy, you forgot to come on the show.
I know. Yeah, I am. Once again very sorry. Really. I was mortified when I just picked up my phone and saw the message and went, oh, "No, go." Yes, no, really busy. So we've got this week off work, and like I say, today house stuff. Whoops. But I'm planning on hopefully the rest of the week being up the allotment, because I am so behind on like the bed prep. The sowing I've just about prioritized, but we've had greenhouse running on and on. So yesterday I had a marathon sowing session. I sowed absolutely loads of stuff. There's a video coming out straight after this. Hooray. I had really spotty germination on loads of stuff. And it's just because I was using lots of old seed. And you just kind of chuck it on and go, well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, loads of it just didn't come up. So I've had to fix a load of that, sow a load more new stuff. I didn't get around to the potatoes, but I got my peas in. I've done like gutter peas and all sorts. So this week I need to prep all the beds. I need to build some support structures. I need to finally trim the tunnel doors. I need to get my water butts set up and the guttering.
You're going to trim the tunnel doors?
Wow.
This week, I promise you, everyone.
Every OCD person is going to yell in joy for that.
I know. I want to build a sweet pea bed as well. And I want to start some compost trials. There's all sorts. There's a big old to-do list. So it's very exciting though. I love having some proper time to dedicate to spending up there. It's awesome.
You all right, Jess?
She in the hair.
There we go. There. Well, listen, huge thank you for coming on. JB, don't worry about coming late. It's just lovely to have you on there. Thank you so much. Audrey, where can we find you?
Real Food Comes Dirty.
There
YouTube, Instagram, and .com.
And the .com, yes. Actually, it was Ian, because we're talking about like the .com, how much them cost and how much servers cost for the silly money what Ian's on. Do you know what I mean? Like a proper, like a proper company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like kind of a personal site. It was like, I'll keep quiet then when we go. You know what I mean? Kind of.
Well, he does commerce on his, so that's a little different. Yeah, it's a whole different level. Yeah.
JB, where can we watch this? Where can we watch this polytunnel door happening?
You can find that on Naturally JB on YouTube and not on Instagram, but I am on Instagram. But the tunnel doors probably won't be because I never post anything on Instagram.
Cool. And Jess, well, actually, there's two places now you need to plug. The cat.
Yeah, if you want updates on the cat, and I apologise for the amount of posting pictures of the cat. She's at Hallie Cat, and and I'm at Jessie Plot 37.
Well, Jess, thank you very much. It's been lovely. Listen, everyone, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week, and hopefully I'll be in a better mood of gardening. Things might have taken off, and hopefully JB will be on time, and Jessie's chilies might have grown as well. Take good care, everyone.
Thanks so.
Bye. Bye.